number one thing everyone needs to do, no matter what age you are, is establish whatever it is that your priorities are. And priorities change, priorities are different, depending on your age, where you are. But if you establish what your priorities are, if you really sit down on a Sunday afternoon and you write down what really matters to me in life. You know, my wife, or my husband, or my kids, or my job, or coaching, whatever it is. And then you make it a point, I'm going to be the best that I can be at those things in this order. I've always felt like priorities and regrets go hand in hand. You establish it first, so you don't have the second. The funny thing is, you know, I had some success in high school, as Dr. Flannery pointed out, and I was feeling pretty good about myself. You know, senior year of high school, I had my all-county t-shirt. I would wear my leather jacket over my all-county t-shirt. I'd go to Berkshire Mall, like, yeah, what's up? How's it going? How are you? All right. And I thought I was pretty cool, right? I thought I was the man. Do you guys even go to the mall anymore? I don't have to go to the mall anymore. Back when I was in high school, the mall was it. Now I guess you guys got a Target over there. But here's my point. My point is, I had this success in high school, and I really shot to the stars. You know, I always wanted to play football for Penn State. It didn't quite happen. So I think that's one lesson. People think, you know, standing up here, oh man, you know, he's achieved all his goals. Not really, man. I wanted to play football for Penn State. I was a late bloomer. You know, 9th grade, 5'9", above 50. 10th grade, 6'1", 170. Junior year, I started to sprout up a little bit, 6'3", 200. Never was I getting recruited by those type of schools. But I think sometimes, and the point I like to make to people is that, you know, if you shoot for the stars, you might not grab them, but you might get a lot higher than if you just made a quote-unquote realistic goal. You know, at any point when I was in 9th or 10th grade, was it realistic to think I was going to play in the NFL? I mean, absolutely not. Probably wasn't even realistic to think that I would play Division I college football. But if you reach for the stars, and if you try to become your personal best, you never really know how it's going to plan out. How it's going to play out, I should say. But what's crazy is, when you have success, and I know some of you guys are playing at the next level, it just kind of ups the ante a little bit. And my wife doesn't like this part of the speech because she thinks that this dissuades people, but you know, you go to that next level, you gotta step up your game. It really gets harder, not easier. I went to Princeton, and you know, football, I was getting my butt kicked by guys that never should have been doing that to me. Now, I remember my first couple weeks of college football getting pancaked by guys. And I thought, you know, I was much more confident about how I would do at Princeton athletically than I was about how I would do academically. And athletically, you know, in my mind, I was going to run around, and all the football players, you know, kind of had pocket protectors and the whole deal. I was going to run and knock people over everywhere. I had a stereotype in mind. It didn't happen. And that was football. Academically was what I was worried about. And the one story I always tell is, at Princeton, first semester freshman year, they make you take a writing class. And I said, okay. And so for this class, you had to read a whole book every week. Whole book every week. And in high school, again, sorry to the educators, I was straight flip notes. You know, I didn't really think I had time to read the whole book. And I thought, okay, I'm at Princeton, I'm stepping up my game, I'm going to read this whole book. So I spent the whole week reading this book, walking to and from practice. I'm reading the book, sitting there, you know, shoving my food in my face at the dining hall. And it got to the point where some of the other guys on the team were like, dude, man, Connor like loves to read. And I said, no, I really don't. I just want to get it done. It's important. I need to establish myself here. And so the morning that we met as a class, in Princeton's really unique. You have a couple lectures, and then you have one class a week with the professor and no more than 7 other students. They call it precept, aka nowhere to hide. So I woke up at 5 a.m. I'm a morning person, and I read the last 72 pages of the book. And I walked in so proud of myself. I mean, I hadn't read a whole book in a long time. So I walked in, you know, kind of strutting like, ask me anything. I read the whole thing, put it down, I sit down, and the professor asked the girl next to me, you know, what she thought of the book. And she said, well, the first time I read it, was something of a Christ figure, and that the book had a lot of religious connotations. But the second time I read it, I realized it was really about the beauty of Mother Earth and nature surrounding surrounding us. However, I still wasn't sure. So the third time, I realized really about the British Industrial Revolution of the 19th century. This girl had read the book 3 times. And they went around the table, and everybody else was talking about rereading passages, you know, looking for hidden meanings. I'm like, I'm ready. I didn't get the memo on the whole hidden meanings thing. I was taking it at face value. So finally, the teacher got to me and said, you know, Ross, what are you thinking about? And I said, I gotta be honest with you, I am really, really happy that I was able to read the whole thing. Okay, and everybody kind of chuckled. And, you know, what did you take out of it? I said, well, I was really surprised in chapter 3 when Jen dumped Peter to go out with David. And so, what's the moral of the story? The moral of the story is I had to decide right then again, just like I had in high school, to establish my priorities so that I would be able to graduate from college without having any regrets again. Same thing. I wasn't going to do it. I wasn't going to be a senior at Princeton and say, you know what? Maybe I could have had a better football career. Maybe I could have done better academically. I thought, I am going to graduate from Princeton University with no regrets. I'm going to be able to be my personal best, whatever that is, you know? And I'm going to be able to move on with the next phase of life, knowing that I was the best I could be.